Mr. McCaul.
Gentleman yields. The chair recognizes the gentleman from Texas, Mr. McCaul.
Speaker, inquire, how much time do I have?
The gentleman has 5 minutes.
Mr. Speaker, I attended the 9/11 ceremony, a moving experience. I spent almost my entire career working with law enforcement, with federal law enforcement, state and local law enforcement, as both a federal prosecutor and a state prosecutor. Today I released a report called A National Strategy to Win the War Against Islamist Terror. I would submit that nobody knows this issue better than I do. It's the reason I'm chairman of this committee. I get the briefings. I understand the threat level. And yes, it is radical Islamist terror. I had an NYPD intelligence briefing after the 9/11 ceremony, briefing me in a classified setting on how this threat has evolved from not just go to Syria to join the fight, but rather kill and attack where you are. And as I met with those brave men and women at NYPD, they said, Mr. Chairman, we need your help in this fight. We need the UASI funding. And yes, we need funding to help us with the active shooter threat that's out there, with the IED that's out there, with the suicide bomber threat targeting New York. And guess what? Just a few days later, we got hit again. Not just in New York, but in New Jersey and in Minnesota. These funds, importantly, go to no one but law enforcement and first responders. Doesn't go to the people Mr. Gohmert's talking about. It goes directly to police chiefs and to first responders and fire departments who are our heroes, and we should have their backs. Day in and day out, they protect the American people. And to suggest or even insinuate that these heroes, frontline defenders, would in any way conspire with the Muslim Brotherhood or radical Islamist terrorists is an insult, and it's disgraceful to this body, to this chamber. It's an assault on all law enforcement and responders, first responders across this country. We shouldn't doubt our police chiefs, our law enforcement, our fire chiefs, our first responders. We should have their backs. And Mr. Speaker, that is exactly what this bill is designed to do. And with that, I yield back the balance of my time.
Gentleman yield.